Coming up next on YoTV, we got a hot show. We got some stories from Oakland. We also take you to the headlines with Brussels Mars. And don't forget to stick around for those Sea Cadets. Up next on YoTV.
Oh boy, yeah, we YoTV, we back here.
Youth culture, youth voices, youth power, coming at you.
What's happening? We YoTV out here.
Before we go any further, I have to big up the magazine. Youth Outlook.
Youth Outlook, chronicle of young people's lives in the Bay Area.
Known all over the Bay and beyond.
Got a lot of good stuff for you this time. Yo!
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fabulous.
I am too. It's a beautiful day out here.
That's right, we're in the cuts of San Francisco.
Cuddy cuts.
Donnie, how did you know about this place?
I can't really tell you that.
Donnie's here, and I'm Ann, and we are YoTV.
Today we have a show, a good show. We're going to be talking to a caseworker who works with cases of young prostitutes.
Prostitution is hitting 13 and 14-year-olds, and it's just getting kind of crazy out there. There's a lot of crime, so I don't know. We chop it up with two former prostitutes and tell us what it's like on the streets in Oakland. Up next for you on YoTV.
I grew up in deep East Oakland, California, which is known from Sabrani Park, the 1100, all the way to the 600s.
I'm 19 and I'm from the Debs in California, the 20s.
And that's where?
In Oakland.
Basically, if you got a pimp and you a hoe, you go get that money. You're supposed to bring that money in at a specific time. Every day, you probably call him or meet him at a specific place so he could get his money. When there's other pimps involved, you can't look in their eyes. You can't speak to them. Otherwise, you automatically their property. And basically, it's just like you a kid and you got a daddy. You got to follow up to his rules. You got to be in when he tell you to be in. You got to eat when he tell you to eat. You got to sleep when he tell you to sleep. And you got to get money when he tell you to get money.
On a good day, I make like $300-400. On a bad day, I might make like $150.
I think prostitution got a lot of credibility that it shouldn't have because it's not a good thing for a little girl to be going through stably, emotionally, financially, whatever, just to be out there doing that. It's other routes to take.
It was this one officer that was following me for a while, and I had called my daddy on the phone, and I had told him, and he told me what to do, but he watched me a couple of times, but I ain't never got stopped or nothing like that. Because I was always at the bus stop. You might look like a hoe, but if you're at the bus stop and the police stop you, I mean, you can always say you waiting on the bus. You're not necessarily hoeing.
In the last 3 years, all of the juveniles that are coming through the system, the court system, are younger. And with the ones that they're more violent crimes. Before, when girls come through, it may be for like theft because they were caught stealing out of like Macy's or something like that. But now the girls are younger, and prostitution is what they're coming in for, which is hard to see because we do have 14-year-olds that come through. And I have worked with actually a 12-year-old.
It's a lot of girls out here choosing that lifestyle because they don't think it's another route to go. I know little girls as young as 13 and 14. I think it's cute just to have a pimp and be getting money for the next man.
When they're dealing with boys or young men or whoever, that they say things to them to make them feel like it's okay, and then you have different entertainers that make it seem like it's okay, and the young girls feel like they're having sex anyway, and so then you have a man, a boy or a man, or that'll just tell them, well, you would have sex with me for free, so you might as well have sex with somebody else, and that way we both can get some money.
Once I turned 18 and got kicked out, and then it's not like I figured that was the only way out, but I just thought like, damn, I might as well do it because I don't know how I'm going to get through this. It was like money in my pocket, you feel me? He let me stay at his house. He was buying me clothes, but the price I had to pay was way more expensive than all that.
Everybody in my community who is a male individual want to be a pimp. So therefore, they're going to try to get hoes or get people who they in a relationship with to sell their body for them, even though they not a pimp, but they trying to introduce themselves into the game at a young age.
With the murder rate and all the violence that's going on, they don't want to stand outside. So I think that it's comfortable for them, you know, to talk to a young girl and, you know, convince her to stand out there and let her know that as long as you know, this is easier for you, easier for me, because if you stand out there, then, you know, then I won't, you know, I won't end up getting shot or something. It's almost like they lay a guilt trip on him. So the girl feels like she's actually helping him.
I didn't experience boys retiring from the dope game to be a pimp because it's like it's easy money. All you got to do is sit there and order a female around or treat her how she want to be treated, and she going to bring money to you, whereas you on the block with the knocks and you got to worry about the police, you got to worry about the decoys, and you got to worry about the other people who out there to get you and hate on you because you getting money. But when you a pimp, it's not on you, it's all on her.
I had a young girl that I worked with her for a long time, and she was really heavily involved in prostitution. Her thing was more because she wanted this man so bad, and that was his way of keeping her, you know, reeled in. My main thing in working with her was not telling her that she needed to stop. I didn't want to tell her, you know, not to be a prostitute, not to go out and do what you're doing. I didn't want to tell her that because I didn't want her to feel like I was judging her.
To the people I know, they don't really care about what the world say because they already know the situation they in, and they getting their money how they know how to get their money like everybody else.
I just kept being there for her, but at the same time showing her other ways, pointing out how important school was. If this was something that you were going to do, are you going to do this forever? What's going to happen when you don't have your looks anymore? You don't have, you know, if something happened to you and you couldn't get out there and do that, or something happens to him and he's not pushing you. So I just, you know, kept pointing out different things to her that she would need, just showing her whatever I can show her, besides being in the streets. And it worked. I mean, she's an adult now. She works. She does have children. She basically left the streets alone.
It ain't no future in this. Like, am I going to be doing this for years and years to come? I can't do that.
So it took some time, and I think that in working with these young people, it takes time because you're not going to change them. You're not going to change them. They're going to continue to do it until they're ready. I think that as long as you continue to give them the tools, that when they're ready, they'll use them.
Don't go anywhere, YoTV, because Donnie and I and YoTV will be right back. But in the meantime, we want you to check out youthoutlook.org right this second, right now, and then come back. So there's a lot of spray paint back there on that wall.
A lot of beautiful artwork, I like to call it. I don't know, that's what I call it.
It's good though. So do you know any of those artists back there?
A couple, but I'm not going to tell you who.
He told us earlier that he's seen a few of those guys around the Bay.
I don't know.
Oh, you know him. Oh,
I do.
Anyways, up next for you, we got some headlines brought to you by the Russell Morris. He chops it up about the new Pope. He calls him JP II. And then he talks about how people like to medicate their pets. They're taking this pet relationship to another level.
Yes, another strange level that I'm okay with. I don't know. And he'll be talking about Captain America and what's going on with that. I don't know. I love comics, but
those are some Marvel comics. Anyways, go ahead, check it out right now on YoTV.
Hello, everybody. My name is Russell Morris. In today's headlines, we'll spend some time with a dead superhero and a grouchy Pope. We'll also take a look at fitness among young people in this country, and somewhere in there, we'll talk about dog erections. This is the headlines from the new youth majority in the world, according to me, Russell Morris. Fans say Captain America died for his ideals. From CBS News. 66-year-old superhero shot dead in struggle between civil liberties and national security. Born to fight the Nazis in World War II, he was the original symbol of truth, justice, and the American way. But when many think America needs him the most, Captain America has died at the hands of a new enemy. Over the last year, the community of Marvel comic book superheroes have been split down the middle, battling each other over the government's call to register them. Captain America rebelled, calling the measure an infringement on his civil liberties. His one-time buddy, Iron Man, believed it was all for the greater good, national security. The U.S. government kills Captain America. I don't even know what to say. That's like Aquaman drowning. But in our current, turbulent, unstable, unpleasant times, it almost makes sense. Young men and women returning injured from Iraq are corralled into crumbling rats' nests, so maybe we need to evaluate how we treat our heroes. Pope Benedict opposed Bob Dylan singing to John Paul in 1997. From Reuters. Pope Benedict was opposed to Bob Dylan appearing at a youth event with the late Pope John Paul in 1997 because he considered the pop star the wrong kind of prophet. In his new book, Pope Benedict does not explain why he does not like Bob Dylan or why he considers him a false prophet. Growing up Catholic, I was taught that a new pope is like a new James Bond. He might look different, but it's the same tuxedo. 2 years into Benedict's tenure, though, I'm noticing stark differences and I'm starting to have nostalgia. John Paul II, or as I like to call him, JP2, keeps getting better long after his death. As if the Dylan concert wasn't good enough, apparently JP2 gave a sermon afterward to young people, using Dylan's song Blowin' in the Wind as a spiritual metaphor. And now Benedict hobbles in, taking the time in his book to write, "There'll be no more of this making our faith relevant foolery." I guess no one will ever be Sean Connery, and I just have to accept that, but this still does not sit well with me. Americans increasingly medicating pets, from the Associated Press. Americans have begun to medicate their dogs, cats, and sometimes other pets, much as they medicate themselves. They routinely treat their pets for arthritis, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, allergies, dementia, and soon, maybe even obesity. They pick from an expanding menu of mostly human pharmaceuticals like steroids for inflammation, Prozac or Valium for anxiety, even the impotence drug, Viagra, for a lung condition in dogs. That's right, Viagra for Fido. I'm wondering now if there's any way for me to get through this without saying the word doggy style. Apparently not. We live in a medicated society. Americans use drugs to play baseball and bone down, so it makes sense that we would extend this to our pets. But dogs and cats can't communicate their discomfort to us, so we just have to guess. And who is Spock going to tell if his erection lasts more than 4 hours? He can't just bury that bone in the backyard. West Virginia to plug in arcade game for weight loss. State plans to put Dance Dance Revolution in schools to fight obesity. West Virginia, which has the worst childhood obesity problem in the United States, is stepping up plans to use Konami Corp's Dance Dance Revolution to battle the bulge in its schools. The state, which plans to put the popular dancing video game in every one of its public schools, said research suggested that it helps put a halt to weight gain. Now this is some forward thinking. Everybody complains that kids don't get exercise because they sit around and play video games all day long. Well, here's our solution. It's fun to think about the West Virginia education administrators coming up with this idea, though, like an act of desperation. Well, these gall-dang kids, what with their interwebs and Wii boxes, we'll never get them to exercise. Unless... Alright, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. I'm Russell Morris.
So we're going to take a commercial break, but while we're doing that, you should check out newamericanmedia.org.
So if you're 6 and under, don't eat more than one of these a month.
Don't. No. Because there's a good fish and there's a bad fish. See, good fish, bad fish. The bad fish, when it's swimming, has a big cross through it, a big no sign in it. So if you see that on a fish, don't eat it. It's bad for you and your family.
Gosh. How about don't eat anything from the bay? Let's just keep to that rule,
Yeah.
and you'll be safe. And
I do frozen fish sticks. That's what I do.
sounds convenient. But go ahead and take a quick break with us, and we will be right back on YoTV.
Good fish, bad fish.
All right, up next on YoTV, we are taking you to the water. Well, something like that. We got the sea, what's it called? The Naval Sea Cadets,
Yes,
right?
out of Cataluma. I like that word.
It's way up north, my goodness. Well, we follow them around to see what their training's like. They got to do a whole bunch of drills and marches. It's kind of like the Boy Scouts, if you think about it. But we got that footage up next for you, brought to you by Sprawl Magazine. Check them out while you can. And yeah, check it out next on YoTV. Like how I went, YoTV! Oh.
The Sea Cadet Corps is a program for 13 to 18-year-old male or females. We run trainings during the summer to get kids oriented with the military. We drill twice a month to go over military regulations, to march, to learn all the basic military requirements. for those cadets who either want to join the military or just want to do this for fun. They like the structure and discipline of an organization like the Sea Cadet Corps. My dad was in Vietnam when he was just a little older than me. He was in the Army. He only served about 4 years in the military, and after that he became a civilian. He didn't really have any role in me joining the Sea Cadets. It was all voluntary. I wanted to do it. It was all on me. He always thinks it's funny that I wanted to join the Navy because since he was in the Army, I'm supposed to be in the Army, but I kind of drew away from that and I wanted to be in the Navy.
My older brother was in the Sea Cadets, and he would come home a lot and brag about, oh yeah, I got to do this today and I got to do that today, and I thought, wow, that sounds kind of cool, And so I came in, and the first guy I saw was actually Lee. I was really, really nervous, and he kind of just looked at me and he was all like, don't be so nervous, it's all right. If you don't know what you're doing, kind of just, pretend like you do, and just get a feel for it. And so, it kind of relaxed me a little bit, and so it was kind of, him kind of easing me through it nice and slowly,
I actually was surfing the web one day and I saw this website. It was the Naval Sea Cadet website, and it looked pretty interesting to me at first, and I decided it was something I wanted to check out. So I stuck with it. I went through the ranks, got promoted, did a bunch of trainings, and I just recently got promoted to midshipman, which is training officer.
I actually heard about it from my friend. I used to play military simulation games with him, and he was a real big Sea Cadet. You can go diving, or you could go to flight school, and it doesn't cost too much actually, so that's really good.
I knew I really wanted to go to the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, and I wanted to find out if there are any programs available to set me ahead of everybody else. I applied for a brochure for the Naval Academy, and they sent me a brochure for the Sea Cadet Corps. I really liked the environment, the marching, and I liked that I would be able to learn how to salute and march and get to wear a uniform and have rank and have the discipline, because I thought that would really prepare me for Annapolis.
Most of them get recruited through either friends that they know, older brothers, or we periodically will go out and we'll march in a parade, and then we'll set up like a booth with recruiting cards where people can kind of give us their name and address if they're interested. And it's kind of never a commitment, so people don't really have to be scared of like, oh, I signed up, I'm gonna have to go in it. You can kind of come in and just see it and get a feel for it, and then leave if you don't like it. And I think a lot of people do that.
It's been in the last few years. I'm a junior in high school, so I've been trying to think about what am I gonna do the rest of my life, and I've always kind of thought about joining the military, and so I was thinking about maybe advancing it a little bit further, and so I looked it up online, and here I am.
I always wanted to be a pilot in the Navy, and I thought this program helped me. And then my goals kind of changed, and now I want to fly choppers for the Marine Corps. And it's just, I've gone to different aviation trainings to get there. Gonna get my pilot's license when I'm 17, go to another training to do that. Well, it's boosted my self-esteem. I mean, I'm more confident in everything I do, whether it's sports or just being with my friends. It's helped my school life a lot better. I mean, I could see myself doing a lot better in school due to it. I used to be this little short fat kid, and then I went to boot camp. They ripped me up, and I'm in shape now. Life's better, school's better, everything's better. Both my parents hate the fact, every time they think of me going fighting a war, they don't want me to go, but they support me no matter what I do. They just don't want me to get killed, because it's really a different face of warfare out there. It's no one big side, another big side brawling. It's guerrilla warfare, and it's pretty dangerous.
As of right now, I would probably go through an ROTC program in college to join either the Navy or the Marine Corps for money for school. One of the schools I'm looking at right now is the tuition's quite expensive, and I don't have that kind of money, so if they offer an ROTC scholarship through that school, I would serve in the military after high school or after college, and they would in turn pay for my tuition.
No matter who they are, where they're from, even if you hate the person, you grow to love them in some sort. I mean, I've known some of these guys for 3 or 4 years. I spend time with them outside of Sea Cadets, outside of school, and honestly, they're all my friends, and I'm good with all of them. And it really brings you closer when you're in this type of environment and you go through the same pains.
When I come out here, I'm one big part of a unit, a brotherhood, a huge team that just works together, loves everybody. I mean, I would go to war with any one of these guys and come back satisfied that I went with them. So
I've heard about ROTC programs and stuff like that where there's hazing a little bit, and maybe a little bit of you have to do something first before you know, you can get into our unit, and kind of stuff like that. And this is a lot more accepting, and we've got, you know, a lot of kind of diversity in the culture of the people who are here, and diversity in personalities, and we kind of put all that aside, and you're a Sea Cadet, you know what I mean, and it doesn't matter, you know, what color you are, or what, you know, what you like to do, what music you listen to. You're a Sea Cadet, and that's all that matters.
I want to fight the Viet Cong. I want to fight the Viet Cong. I want to go to Vietnam. I want to go to Vietnam.
So I think we had a fun show today.
I think so.
Yeah, we will do it again, right, Donnie? Next Saturday,
Soon.
10 a.m. TV 20WB, whatever, you know, channel 1320.
Look for us.
Video Google. Got a lot of places to check us out at, but go to the website youthoutlook.org. Hit us up at yotv@youthoutlook.org, and check out Donnie up there. Send him your fan mail.
Dude.
You know you got a little crush on him. Like, dear Donnie.
It's okay. I understand.
And next week we will be back, and we'll bring you more footage, and we wish you a good week. All right, bye guys. Can you see that I'm walking on this, or do I look like a retard if I do?
Hot war, I call it.
Well, cool. We get to learn what you have to say up next in this photo montage. And commentary up next for you on yotv. On the catwalk.
Yes, you're on the catwalk.
Let me suck in my stomach, get it all right.